The past 2 days, we have seen an unbelievable meltdown in Germany. Angela Merkel declared that the results of a democratic election are, quote, bad for democracy, and she is publicly demanding a new election. So, if you have been watching, I made a bunch of videos on the 3 state elections held in the former East Germany last fall. The Conservative Party Alternative für Deutschland, or AfD, was the big winner overall. And by the way, today is the 7th anniversary of the founding of the AfD. So I don't want to rehash everything. The AfD came in second place in all 3 elections. In Saxony and Brandenburg, people actually crossed party lines to prevent the AfD from coming in first place. In Thuringia, the former East German Communist Party, Die Linke, was in power. They came in first place while the AfD took second and the CDU took third. Meanwhile, the Free Democratic Party, or FDP, which previously had no seats in Thuringia, made the 5% threshold by less than a dozen votes. The AfD, the CDU, and the FDP collectively won a majority. Well, the media and the political elites had already declared that the CDU and the FDP were to never cooperate with the AfD. In fact, they were not even supposed to have conversations with AfD politicians. Even talking on the phone with an AfD politician would taint them. In Saxony, the CDU and the AfD collectively won a big majority, yet the CDU formed a coalition with the far-left Green Party. It is going very badly. I have already made a video about it. It has further damaged the reputation of the entire CDU. Well, there were CDU politicians in Thuringia that did not want to further self-destruct their own party. So, yesterday it was announced that the CDU, FDP, and the AfD collectively voted to make Thomas Kemmerich of FDP the new Prime Minister of Thuringia. Die Linke leader Susanne Hennisch-Wilsau was supposed to present Kemmerich with a wreath to show respect for the democratic process. Instead, she hurled the wreath at his feet and stormed away. This was the start of a nationwide frenzy. Major, allegedly mainstream German media outlets openly called the AfD Nazis and fascists. It used to be that in Germany and many other European countries, you could not just casually call someone Nazi simply because you didn't like them. You could get into serious legal trouble for defamation. However, that has completely broken down in Germany, and courts have refused to protect the AfD against slander and libel. In fact, Guy Verhofstadt, a man considered to be a top leader of the European Union, actually tweeted a picture comparing an AfD leader to Hitler. And by the way, Guy Verhofstadt just called for mass censorship on YouTube today, claiming that YouTube was undermining democracy. Christian Lindner, the head of the FDP, rushed to Thuringia to ask Thomas Kemmerich to step down. Meanwhile, Angela Merkel was in South Africa. She expressed outrage and said it was, quote, a bad day for democracy. She said it was, quote, unforgivable that members of the FDP as well as her own party were cooperating with the AfD. She made a public plea for a new election in Thuringia. Well, today, Kemmerich resigned. I think he was Prime Minister of Thuringia for less than 24 hours. The media and the elites successfully overturned the democratic process through intimidation. AfD leader Tino Shrupala declared that it was, quote, a sad day for democracy. The behavior and rhetoric of Guy Verhofstadt, Angela Merkel, Christian Lindner, and the media is shameless, tasteless, and a total affront to democracy. One of the most fundamental basic tenets of democracy is that you have to agree to work with people you don't agree with. If you demand that one party be quarantined and no one even allowed to speak to them, that means you do not actually support democracy. We are seeing a rapid merging of the CDU and the FDP with the left. It is becoming AFD versus an anti-democratic authoritarian uniparty. Now, Kemmerich has just also called for an election redo. I think Christian Lindner is going to do the same thing. I fail to see the logic here. What does the CDU and the FDP hope to gain in an election redo in Thuringia? The FDP barely won any seats. I can't imagine the FDP keeping those seats. It makes no sense. It seems like the CDU and the FDP would just hemorrhage more voters to the AFD. In fact, to me, it seems like the CDU could actually split and lose people in two different directions. They could lose voters on the right to the AFD and voters on the left to the SPD. Now, when the election results originally came out, it was a big surprise that the FDP even made the 5% minimum threshold. I saw a lot of people talking about this on Twitter and claiming that the FDP voters were ex-CDU voters who were really closet AFD supporters. In other words, they were people who couldn't stomach voting for the CDU again, but they were too intimidated by the media hysteria to cast a vote for the AFD. People spoke of the FDP vote as a sort of transitional vote by people who were in the process of switching from CDU to AFD. I hope Merkel gets the election redo she is calling for. I honestly think it's going to blow up in her face big time. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below, and tell me what you think about this. And please consider making a donation to this YouTube channel. And I would like to thank Clint, Matt, and Daniel. I also got my first donation from Iceland. That was interesting. And I'd like to thank the people who are making $2 and $5 donations on Subscribestar. Some people have been doing this for several months now. That's really flattering. So thank you very much. And please support my sponsor, Patriotic Flags, the online flag store, patriotic-flags.com. Tell them Renaissance Horizon sent you. Also, on January 25th, YouTube began serving my videos again. And so I'm getting the most traffic I've gotten since early September. So hopefully that keeps up. All right, click the subscribe button. New video every few days.